So I wanted to discuss a poll that recently came out, and the poll was put out by Hill Harris X. It's a poll that's affiliated with the Hill, the media outlet. And in some ways, the results of the poll were surprising, and in some ways, they were not surprising. Now, if you look at the poll, which I'm going to put on screen for you here, this is courtesy of the Hill. They actually asked the questions really well. So they said, generally speaking, which best describes how are you feeling about the incoming Biden administration? The answers were optimistic, nervous, pessimistic, relieved, angry, happy, excited, sad, or indifferent. And I really like how they did this. Because instead of just making it a simple poll, how do you feel about the Biden administration? I feel great. I feel not great. Or I feel happy. I feel angry. Like, instead of making it one extreme emotion or the other, which I feel like polls often do, instead they elected to use different descriptive words that could more accurately and specifically describe the feelings of the people who they polled. Now, I'm not sure how many people they polled here exactly, but they do have the results here for you. I probably should know how many people they polled, but they have the results. And the results are all over the spectrum. So 23% said they felt optimistic. That's the highest percentage. 15% said they felt nervous. 13% said they felt pessimistic. 11% said they felt relieved. 10% angry. 9% happy. 7% excited. Imagine being excited about Joe Biden. 6% sad and 6% indifferent. So, what does this tell you? Well, the Hill had two pollsters on. One was Terrence Woodbury, who's a Democratic pollster, and I think they said he's the founder of a founding partner at Hit Strategies, quote. And another guy, BJ Marino, who's a Republican pollster, who's a partner at the Terrence Group, apparently. It's just funny, the Terrence Group. And the Democrats guy's name is Terrence Woodbury, but they're not affiliated with each other. It's just a coincidence. Anyway, and, they talked about the study. And they each had some interesting insight, Terrence Woodbury said that, was talking about how a lot of people want to see what Biden's going to do, and how, there is some excitement that Trump's gone, but there's some uncertainty there. And, BJ Martino, I said Marino, I'm sorry. BJ Martino, the Republican pollster, he said this poll is very much along party or partisan lines. So the people who felt optimistic, relieved, happy, and excited are generally Democrats. And the people who felt nervous, pessimistic, or angry or sad were, generally speaking, Republicans. Yeah, so he was saying that the poll is very polarizing, pun intended, and is very much along party lines. Now, actually, I did do some reading. The Hill wrote here that the survey was conducted online within the U.S. from January 8th to 11th, and they polled 2,854 registered voters. Apparently, it was weighted for age, gender, region, race, ethnicity, income, political party, education, ideology, area type, and vote choice, when necessary to align them with their actual proportions in a population, end quote. So yeah, there's the information I wanted to give you guys earlier. But I really just want to talk about how this poll very much reflects both how the average American is feeling, which is, there's two type of, at this point, there's two average Americans, polar opposite. But it also reflects how people are feeling about our politics in general. And what I see a pattern of is that, yes, a lot of Democrats, yes, they feel optimistic about Biden winning. Uh, a lot of, Republicans feel pessimistic, some are even angry. Actually, 10% they said were angry. That's a big chunk. Some people are pessimistic, you know, nervous, different. There's all these different feelings, right, toward Biden's presidency. And I think that, yes, this shows that the country is divided in how they feel, but there's also some overlap, right? Potential for overlap. Like, we talk about pessimism. I'm very pessimistic that Biden is actually going to get things done. I think his most successful week will be what he does on day one in the first week of his presidency. And, after that, there's not going to be much different. It's just going to be the normal, usual stuff. Now, I did see that he has vowed to cancel the Keystone Pipeline, which is awesome. Yeah, so, it does seem like he's going to do some things that he can do through executive order, but in reality, I don't think he's going to do much. I don't think the country is going to change very much. I don't think the divisions are going to be healed. So, in that regard, I feel pessimistic. Now, you might have a Republican who feels pessimistic because it's not Trump, pretty much. And they might feel pessimistic for different reasons, but we could have the same feeling. Also, too, a lot of things that Republicans want are the same things that people on the left want, like access to affordable health care, higher wages, new job creation. So there is a lot of overlap in what both sides want from a Biden administration or would desire from a Biden administration. And, there's a lot of overlap. So I believe that Biden could actually, if he wants to be bipartisan, he could actually do things that both sides of the aisle want, like healthcare, right? Healthcare for everybody, universal healthcare, elimination of college debt. These are things that everyone wants. Now, when these mainstream Republican and centrist Democrat pollsters go out and say, how do you feel about socialism? Almost everyone says, oh, socialism bad. But if you actually ask them on a micro level, like, how do you feel about free college? Oh, I think free college would be great. How do you feel about eliminating student debt? Great. How do you feel about guaranteed health care for every American? Oh, I think that's a great idea. So these are popular ideas. And as you can see from this poll, America is more divided than ever how it feels from Joe Biden. But I do think there's enough overlap that he can bring the country back together. Sort of kind of like how George W. Bush did in the 2000s after 9/11. Now, don't get me wrong. George W. Bush, yes, he was arguably the worst president in history, although I think Donald Trump's making that argument weaker and weaker every day. But he's arguably the worst president in American history. But he did have a way of, having the country come together and pray and do all these other things. This is a time for prayer. He did bring the country together after 9/11. So, you know what? Credit to where credit is due. He did do that. And I think Biden could do a similar thing with this coronavirus crisis. Because if it wasn't for that crisis, I think people would view Bush's presidency as even worse, to be honest. Which, ironically, because the war that he started after 9/11 was one of the worst things that he could have ever done. But I digress. So I think Biden could potentially take this crisis and start answering some Americans' calls here for things that they want and things that we could all benefit from. And if he does that, I think he really can bring the country together. Now, does that mean you eliminate extremists like the Proud Boys or the KKK or some of these white nationalist militias? Of course not. You're not going to get rid of them. I feel like these guys are going to be here to stay for the foreseeable future. However, when people are given material help, they are less likely to be radicalized. And I think that although these people are very different and very partisan, and from different backgrounds and things, I think there's a lot of overlap in the mixed feelings that people have about a Biden administration. And I think that if he would solve some of the main problems that the average American faces, it would be a lot easier to bring the country together. Now, I doubt he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do universal health care. He'll probably do a $15 minimum wage. Maybe he'll stick to his promise about student loans. I don't know. I doubt he's going to do anything for health care. They were already backing off a public option, but this poll is interesting, man. Very interesting. So I want to know you guys' thoughts and how you feel about this. So drop a comment below. Just let me know how you're feeling about the content. And also, I'm going to leave the link to the video from the Hill in the description. I didn't want to put the clip in my video just because these videos have become so long. And I basically just been rambling to you guys for 11 minutes. So imagine me putting like a 5 or 6 minute clip, right? So, but yeah, there you have it, guys. This is how people are feeling about the Biden administration. From a really, really good poll that actually asked really good questions, and what I think Biden could do to sway some of these opinions and bring the country together is to push a more progressive agenda. Now, will he actually do it? Probably not. Probably not. But he better at least try, because if he doesn't, there's going to be a Trump-like figure that's a lot smarter than Donald Trump that's going to be able to radicalize even more people, and the Democratic Party is going to continue to lose its base. So hopefully someone shows these polls to Biden and he actually does something, about it, and actually does some things to bring the people in his favor.